It's time to talk some more Oregon football as it is 4 o'clock, and that is the time slot for the head coach, Dan Lanning, as the Ducks get set to take on Illinois back at Autzen Stadium Saturday, 12:30 here on The Fan. Coach, hello.
Hey, how we doing?
Good. How are you doing? That's the question.
I'm doing good, doing good.
How was the trip to West Lafayette? Did you get to eat at the Applebee's or Buffalo Wild Wings? Anything exciting happen out there?
No short stops, just a little football game. It was good though.
So you the Friday game, this was your second Friday game, and the last Friday game, you said that was fun because you then on Saturday got a chance to just sit down and watch a little football like Suke and I do. Like we just sit there and watch on our couches. Did you get that opportunity to watch the Illinois-Michigan game Saturday at home?
I did. We worked in the morning that day and then got a chance to be a football fan in the afternoon, watched a little bit of football, which was pretty fun.
Did you crack a beer?
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did.
Nice.
Good.
What is the Dan Lanning couch beer? Well, the go-to.
I don't discriminate. I like them all. But I would say probably Corona Extra is the go-to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very beachy of you. I like it.
Now, if I came over and I walked in and I was looking for libation, what would I be offered? Would I be offered just the beer? Do you have a big bar with bourbon and things like that?
Yeah, whatever you like. Yeah, we've got it. Whatever you like, we have it.
Okay.
I think when you see a front door like at the Lanning household, you would assume there's a decent bar. I'd be disappointed if there wasn't.
We got a good spread. Yeah, we got a good spread.
Do you like an old-fashioned by chance?
Yeah, I do. If it's not too sweet,
Okay.
It's probably been a while since I've had one of those.
Okay. Well, let's look at Illinois here. We were just talking about them. It's interesting. This Big Ten stuff is interesting. This is a team that we know nothing about. What makes them go? Because there's not a lot that jumps off the paper. On paper, there's not a lot that jumps out about them. But what makes them go?
Well, they're certainly a really solid team. I think what makes them strong is they out-physical people at the point of attack. They've built a mantra of being able to run the ball physically, and they have a quarterback that can make you miss. He's a threat with his arm and with his legs. And then defensively, they do a great job of attacking the ball. So they create a lot of takeaways, which that's one of the biggest traits in college football to winning games. So there's a reason they've had so much success this year.
Yeah, when teams play you, I mean, you guys are a pretty balanced team, can win multiple ways. But I get the sense, like, is the MO against a team like yours for a lot of schools to just limit possessions, to play like a slower pace game against you guys? Do you feel like you guys see that style maybe more than teams that want to get into an up and down game with you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think every school tries to play to their strengths, and every team we play tries to play to their strengths. But there's certainly some that are going to say, "Hey, we rather not see how much. We're not going to get into a shootout with this team." So I think good football teams try to figure out what their strengths are and play into that.
What is your? I mean, like I said, I feel you guys are pretty balanced. But what is your ideal? Like, if you're looking at your team and you say that we want to play this style of game, what is your bread and butter?
Well, I don't think we ever want to be like I think I've said to you guys before. I don't think we ever want to play left-handed. So we want to be the team that has multiple strengths. And if you decide to take away our run game, then we've got the ability to hit you over the top with a great pass. On the same note, if you're going to be able to defend the pass, we want to be able to take advantage of run opportunities. So the goal for us is to be balanced to where we can beat you either way.
And then when you go to a place like Purdue and you pitch a shutout, it doesn't matter who you're playing. As a defensive guy, how good does it feel when you look up there, and how rare is it to see the goose egg?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, and it's always a good feeling. I think immediately you walk away from the game, you say, okay, what could we have done better? But whenever you're able to keep a zero up there, I think that's tough to accomplish. Especially in college football. Certainly hasn't happened here since I think 2002, and hasn't happened on the road since 1992. So it doesn't happen very often. You want to take advantage of those opportunities when you get them.
And then how big is it, at the end of the game, even though you pitch the shutout, you get some other guys, some looks that maybe don't play a lot of snaps. How important is it to build that depth in games like that, where you do get people to have meaningful snaps, maybe down the end of the line here, where you may need guys when depth becomes an issue?
Well, that's what I mean. We always talk about strength in numbers, and sometimes guys, have to wait for their opportunity to come, and when it comes, take advantage of it. And I think we had some guys that did that this past week.
How would you describe your depth right now? How do you feel about it?
I feel good. I feel really good about our team. I think we have a good team. I think we have a lot of guys that are, ready when their number's called, and that's important.
So Illinois is interesting that, when you describe them and what they bring to the table, it's just classic Big Ten football.
Right.
Does that make it tougher? Like, I know you love to sit and watch film and the X's and O's of it, but in this instance, there's, they're not bringing a lot of trickery. They just want to be tough and play tough smash mouth football. Does that make it tougher to play a team like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it makes it any tougher. I would say that this team still has a great element of tricks. If you actually watch them play, you'll see that they run a multitude of things, and they do some stuff that create explosive plays. I think what always challenges you when you play teams that are physical like this and they establish the run is they kind of lull you to sleep, and then all of a sudden they hit a trick pass or they hit a double move on the outside, and that's what Illinois has done a really good job of this past season.
How often does it occur where you're surprised by a team once you lace them up? I mean, how often does the film not tell the whole story?
Not often. I mean, it happens from time to time, and you never know until you step on the field with the team. But this team's certainly capable and talented. They've got some great rushers up front. They do a good job of protecting the ball. I mean, their quarterback's thrown one interception all season for a reason. I think that speaks a lot to the job that their coaches have done and the job their quarterback has done as well. But again, they attack the ball. I think, what you see on film is who they are.
What about number 17? He looks like a monster.
He can rush the passer, huh? Yeah, he can rush the passer. He's a talented player. He's got a lot of twitch. He's a good one.
They're coming. I mean, it's a good, healthy trip coming from Champaign out here. You guys just did the Purdue thing. A lot has been made of the Big Ten travel. If you just kind of your general thoughts on is that a thing? Do we make too much of that in the media? Kind of the travel schedule, because it does feel like the road teams that are going 2 and 3 time zones away, and I know it's a small sample, have had some challenges this year.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily easy, but I think it's what you see on, you watch Sunday football, you see it every single week in the NFL. That's how the game's played. So it is what it is. Who can adapt to it the best, who can do the best job of owning that, I think is important.
Is there anything that you do or will do? I know that was kind of your first big road trip. As you look forward to some of these, do you change anything at all in the preparation, or is it just kind of a learn as you go?
No, I mean, there's certainly some things that we do slightly different when it comes to travel. I don't know that I'll share any of them here with you guys, but yeah, there's some things that you do a little bit differently.
When you go up against a guy like Bielema, who's been at a lot of different places, do you find themes in his teams?
Yeah, I've always felt like his teams truly have an identity. They're always a physical football team. They never beat themselves. You don't see that very often. I think that, if you watch their games this year, you see the same thing.
Have you faced him before?
I haven't. No, this is my first time.
Yeah, he's been around a while. Good coach. Midway point.
I take that back. I guess when I was at Alabama, I think he was at Arkansas at the time, but that was a while back.
Yeah, midway point.
Not as a head coach.
Right. He was. Well, you weren't the head coach. Yeah. Which player?
Yeah, he was the head coach. I was a GA. Yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
This is Dan Lanning. Midway point. Could you name a couple of players that improved the most for you since the Idaho game?
Yeah, I probably could. I don't know that I will. But our team is getting better. Like, that's the biggest thing I would tell you is, like, our team is not the same team as it was at the beginning of the season. And I think there's probably some unsung heroes that are going to show up as the season continues here because we've seen it. We've experienced some injuries. We've experienced some guys that go down, and that's created opportunities for other guys.
I mean, I'm an old O-lineman. I love watching O-line play, and I remember those first couple weeks, and O-line problems tend to linger. I mean, they're not things that usually just get fixed in a week or two. And I mean, I'm not asking for specific players, but what changed? Because your guys' play along that front from the first 2 weeks through what we've seen now, it looks like a completely different group and offense and the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, I think a couple things have happened. We've kind of fallen into a rhythm of who we have up there up front for us, and then two, we've done a better job of schematically of protecting our guys and putting them in position to be successful. I think it always falls on both sides. It falls on executing as a player, and then us as coaches putting them in good position to be successful. I think Coach Stein's really done a really good job, and Coach Terry and the entire offensive staff done a really good job of putting those guys in opportunities to be successful.
All right, so you mentioned Corona. If you need a cocktail, what are you going to?
Yeah, more recently I've probably been like a mezcal, like tequila guy on the rocks. Like,
Ooh,
that's probably where I'm at right now.
Some smoky goodness there.
that's great. What about
There you go.
wine? Is Dan Lanning a wine guy? Will he pour some wine?
Yeah, all of it, red, white, you pick.
Love it.
I'm in for all of it.
Good.
I like where we're going with this. So,
Okay.
like you said, multiple on the field, multiple at the bar.
That's right.
You
You can't put him in a
No,
box.
we're not putting you in a pigeonhole here.
I like
Coach.
all types of food. I like all types of drinks. Yeah, I don't discriminate.
Ooh, favorite cuisine. If you're picking the
I mean,
cuisine.
it's steak and potatoes, and you can't beat steak and potatoes, right?
Yeah. Midwest guy.
Tonight, the dinner menu at the Lanning house is chili, so we're mixing up some chili tonight.
You making that?
I am.
Key to a good Dan Lanning chili?
Don't look up the ingredients. Just pour until it feels right.
I love this.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that's a man after my own heart. There's no recipe involved here. It's by feel.
Okay.
It's a feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, good chili's a feel. And then the biggest problem I have is this chili wasn't already cooking last night. Like,
Yeah.
for chili to be right, it tastes better like the next day. And I'm a little disappointed I didn't start it yesterday.
Well, you probably had some other things to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Wow.
I'm guessing an off-season chili probably a little better than in-season chili.
100%. 100%. It's like barbecue. You got to slow cook it. It takes time.
That's right.
Coach, never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. And it's chili's gonna have to take a back seat to winning a national championship.
All right.
Baby steps, right?
Yeah.
That's right. 1 week at a time. Good luck against Illinois, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
That is Dan Lanning.
I can't begin to tell you how much I love that he
Cooking on his own grill.
That he freestyles chili.
I'm cooking on your grill.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's right about that, though.
Yeah. Well, I just
Right?
see this is going to be a very controversial decision because like Jason Swigart, who to this day, besides the fact that he wears a Swagalicious Kraken jersey, which
Again, respect it.
I can't process.
Respect it.
I can't.
Here's the
process it.
situation.
The man, for all of his picadillos, he makes the finest chili that I've ever had.
He has a very good chili.
The Swag Lamb cumin chili that he makes, oh my God, that thing is a revelation. And he would tell you there's a recipe.
Sure.
He's,
Yeah.
And while I can appreciate that, at the same time, I'm like, I respect the man that freestyles the chili a little more than someone that just follows a recipe.
Wait. Swag will freestyle chili.
Yeah.
It's just in a chili contest,
Yeah,
he's got a go-to. And
Yeah.
I'm sure Dan Lanning has a go-to, like if he had to pin, if you say, hey, we have to make the best chili possible or we're going to get the sports gun.
Yeah.
He's gonna go by what he knows, right?
And I do think there's an element of fence sitting that's possible where like you can be following a recipe, but then let feel take over.
Well, and I think you experiment with chili. Like, give me another food. I don't even cook, but give me another cuisine or another dish that you could experiment more with.
I mean, same consistency, but like
Than chili.
like a pasta sauce, like a meat sauce that you would keep on the stove,
But
similar to a chili.
I'm with you, but I do think that chili may be the best experimental because it's just there's a lot going on there.
And no
you
decision's
can get
going to be really bad.
Well, yeah, you can get away with a lot.
Yes.
You may not
Room for
make
error.
the A+. How about this? The floor is pretty solid.
Correct.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
like if I'm making a piece of fish, that is my biggest boomer bust. Like if I'm cooking a piece of a nice piece of whitefish, or God forbid I try salmon, I'm terrified about what that outcome could be, and I've butchered that too many times. I am not scared at butchering a chili. I will produce a chili that I'll be fine with.
And even with the heat, you can always cool it down with sour cream or heat it up with more hot sauce. It's like it's pretty safe.
I didn't see the mezcal thing coming.
Yeah, that's
On the rocks.
Yeah, on the rocks mezcal.
That's a really hot item right now, mezcal.
Well, once he started with Corona, I thought, is he going to go south of the border on this too?
I feel
He
like
is.
that's what.
That's a man who likes to vacation in Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. Again, Respect.
Yeah.
I'm not a mezcal guy myself, but
I like it.
You're going, yeah, it is hot right now.
Very hot.
Lot of people. Rum was happening for a while. And I feel like rum's kind of over, and now people have moved on, and now it's all about the mezcal.
Mezcal just made rum its little bitch.
It did. I'll tell you what, though, I enjoyed the rum. That it was all the rage for a while, and now it.
Yeah, I feel like rum has a. You talk about floor.
Yeah.
The ceiling on rum, it's just not there. Like we tried to make some better rums, and then we were like, nah, let's go to mezcal because rum is just kind of.
Yeah. I understand.
Dan Lanning's appearances here on our show are brought to you by Unitas Community Credit Union. Like a coach's playbook, Unitas has a winning strategy for your finances. You, us, Unitas.
You ever see a cheetah stretch?